Tim. This is Joel. This
So we're
is
doing
me.
a type 2, baby.
Type 2. Play a bit to the camera so you know. It's
Okay,
got a
no
profile.
problem, dear.
I figure you've done this once or twice in your time, so.
51 films later, I know every shot you can come up with.
Okay. Well, this is an MCU two-shot. What am I calling this, Tim?
And let's see how tight we are. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he's on a wide angle.
So are you on a cowboy?
He's on a wide angle.
You're on a
Sorry about
cowboy.
there, so
He's on a
he
cowboy.
knows stuff. Gee, he knows stuff. So we're too close, or is that quite
A
good?
bit of separation wouldn't hurt. But
Oh, a little bit. A little bit. We can be a little bit more. So we. Got some
Oh,
more
okay.
just
So
a
we're
little
not
bit.
that tight of a
We don't
two.
have to. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. We're in a loose two.
See.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Well, Meat, welcome back to Australia. It's great to see you.
It's lovely to see you.
I'm going to run past the last time we did see one another.
Okay, go ahead.
2004, Las Vegas, the Paris nightclub, the Paris casino, and you were actually performing on stage with Brian May and Roger Taylor.
Oh,
from
at the
Queen.
opening of
We Will Rock You.
We Will Rock You, and Brian and Steve Vai was on stage.
He was.
And what you don't know is that if you saw me screaming in Steve Vai's ear, I'm going, "You calling yourself a guitar player? You suck! You suck! That's it? That's all you're giving these people? Come on!" That's what and I'm doing the same thing to Brian too. You call yourself a guitar player?
You're only talking about two of the most legendary guitarists
Yeah.
on the planet. And who both happen to be participating on this new album of yours, which I thought, were there conversations going on that night? Or?
No, I've known Brian for almost 30 years now, going way back when Freddie was alive and
Yeah.
Roger Taylor. I knew Roger first. I mean, I went out to dinner with Roger in 1979, and then a couple of years later with Brian, and then hung out with Freddie quite a bit, and then who else are we talking about? Oh, Steve Vai. Steve Vai I've known. Oh, I don't know, late 80s. So, and
See, I decided that I was there the night you asked all those guys to be on this album, and I thought there's a bit of history in
well,
the
then
making.
you know
and I
what?
was
You
gonna
know
get
what?
this great story.
I'm not gonna spoil your
Okay.
dream. I'm not gonna spoil it. You're absolutely right. I was on stage at that moment, going, "Listen, in 2009, I'm gonna make this album called Hank Old Teddy Bear. Will you please come and play?" And both of them went, "Hank Old Teddy Bear, we really like that title. Yeah, let's do it."
Thank you. That's what I need.
It's a Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland moment.
That's right. That's what I was looking for, and I'm glad you've made that happen for me, mate. Hang Cool Teddy Bear. That's exactly the name of the album. A lot of people are going to go, "Huh? What does it mean?"
It's exactly correct. That's the whole purpose of that. Is the reason for the title is that people go, "What? Huh?" That's the whole point of it. Because everybody else, I explained that if you walk down the street and you see album titles, it says, "A Moment to Remember, A Road Too Far, Coming Home at Last, I'm Finally Here, Come On Over." And then you hear the explanation and you just want to slap the artist. You want to slap them hard because they go, "Oh, I was having this moment and I just knew my audience. I wanted to reach out to them and say, we've traveled this road so far," and you just want to go, "Wow, get real. You're not telling the truth." But I am. It's, I think, nothing more than, huh?
Now, it wouldn't be a Meat Loaf album if it didn't tell a story. And you played it. We were fortunate enough to hear the album this morning, I have to say, and not many people have. So tell us
not
the
many
story.
people. Well, the story, and this is more of a story than any album I've ever, and it's all the same character in every song,
Okay, right.
which is completely different than ever before. I know people don't realize these things, but for me, it's really different. And it's the story of a soldier who finds himself laying on the ground and he's dying, and instead of his life flashing forward, instead of his life flashing backwards, it flashes forward. And that's basically it, and he finds himself in these nightmarish scenarios. But I think it's what's keeping him alive, and that's how I played him, because they're really just, like in song 4, for example, all of a sudden he's aware that he's in the middle of a fight. And he has no idea why. And he's like going, "Honey, what did I do?" And she goes, "You know."
We've all been in arguments like that, actually, at some stage. Your voice sounds absolutely tremendous on this album, I have to say. You're in full flight.
Well, you know what? I can thank Rob Cavallo, because any inhibition.
He's the producer.
That Rob Cavallo is the greatest producer in the world, because he does not allow his ego to come into play, and he gives you the record that you want. And first of all, I couldn't even possibly imagine a record this good without him. And with him, I mean, it's like beyond my wildest imagination, this record. So anyway, but thanks to Rob, he freed me. He took away, like, the last record I was so beat down and so like, oh, this and that. And he never said anything. He just let me run. And I was like a horse out of a corral, and I was just free to go. And if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. And it just allowed me to soar and open up. And I've been working with a vocal coach for 5 years named Eric Vitro, who I give a lot of credit to as well. I'm singing higher on this record than I did in 1977.
Whoa. Now, you had a cyst on your vocal cords a couple of years ago. What's happened with that?
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. They tried to put me back to work earlier than I should have. And at that point, I fired everybody and started over. I fired all the lawyers.
You threatened to quit. You gave us all a scare. You said you were
Well, I was. I basically, well, it was a horrible time. It was the most negative period of my life, really.
Yeah.
Between 2006 and sometime near 2000 and the end of 7. And it was horrifying. I mean, you wouldn't wish it on Osama bin Laden, trust me. And we wish a lot on him,
Yeah.
but not that. And so between the new management and new lawyers and new agents, and I surrounded myself with people that are really positive. And Rob Cavallo, I'm like on cloud 9.
You are happy. I can sense
I am on cloud 9. And when I say to everybody, as I say, look, I know people don't like Meat Loaf. They go, oh, I don't like him. I don't like his music. He's a clown. He's whatever. Trust me. I don't care what you think about me or what, just do yourself a favor and put on a track of this record and see what you think.
There's another sneaky surprise on this album, which I think a lot of people will look forward to hearing, and that is that you managed to coax Hugh Laurie, who many people know, and particularly Channel 10 viewers know as House, to play on one of the songs.
Wasn't hard to coax him.
Really?
No, all I did was ask him.
And he's like, I'd love to.
Yes, exactly. Basically, that's what happened.
So he plays piano. Tell us about the track.
He's so secure, because I did an episode of House, and he's so secure on that, and as an actor, he's so secure. He comes into the studio, he's an absolute nervous wreck. I mean, he's got 19 fingers, and Rob, again, takes him outside for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. They talk about motorcycles. They're smoking cigarettes. They're talking about music. And Rob and he comes back in and he just back to the confident Hugh Laurie that we know, and sits down and plays and does a great job.
That's awesome. You've got some good friends on speed dial,
don't you? But Jack Black's a friend of mine. And
now the duet with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Your voices sound awesome together.
Oh, Jack and I love Jack. Jack is exactly who you think Jack is.
Yeah.
Jack, because I sent him, we email, and I sent him an email and said, you want to do this? He said, oh, I'm doing a movie, but I'll get back to you. And then it passed, and I don't want to bug him because I don't want to bug people. I don't want to make people feel like I'm pushing them. And I saw him the end of October at a charity event, and he comes up to me and says, dude, I thought we were going to jam, dude. I went, well, Jack, you can. And what are you doing Tuesday? He said, I'm with you.
Dude.
So, dude. So, and so he was out. I mean, the great thing about these people like Cara and Hugh and Brian and Jack is that they don't come with a whole bunch of people or PR people or their bodyguards.
The entourage.
The entourage. They just drive themselves out and go to work, and we give them a kiss, and we all say goodbye.
Good for you.
Yeah, I
like
love my friends.
Speaking of friends or old friends, Jim Steinman and you, how are things?
We're great. I mean, Jim and I are bonded like, like a husband and wife. I mean, I'm serious. It's like a long affair, a long time affair, and we love each other deeply. And just everybody should just say out there, Jim, be well. I can't go any more than that. Just everybody should say, Jim, be well.
That's all everyone wants. That's of course right. You said an interesting thing earlier this morning when we were listening to the album. You said that you're an actor. Please don't everyone forget I'm an actor. And you have. You've made 51 films and done all this. Is that what you consider yourself more so than a singer?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Rob Cavallo coined the phrase. Meat Loaf is an actor who acts like he can sing.
Oh, really?
I can't sing unless I've got the whole thing built around it. The other thing is that we say you got to remove all the razor blades when I start a vocal because you're going to kill yourself if you don't. It takes me, sometimes I might go for 3-4 hours and do nothing, and then then it has to live, and we stop, and I come back in the next day, and then I can sing it right away. And it sounds great. It's like, did you ever love somebody? That was one of those things. It was like I just couldn't. It's just like it wasn't there. It wasn't rolling. And all of a sudden, I walked in the next day, and the part where it modulates and it gets really high, I sing that all in one take. It just flew off, and I just walked in. I said, "I'm warmed up. Let's go." And I was locked into the character. I locked into him at home. I found him, and I just walk in the studio and go, "Everybody, stop, go now." and they went, "What? What?" I said, "Stop, just go," and bam. And that's one take on that high part. So. Wow,
awesome. Well, we're getting you before the album's even out.
Yeah, and unbeknownst to you, you are. And I said I'm like a badger. It's like I'm relentless here on this promotion.
You popped in by surprise.
Real surprise.
Yes. The album's out April 23rd.
I'll be back in May too, by the way.
Oh, what are you going to do then?
I don't know.
Are you going to
keep
tour?
No, not in May. In January of next year.
January of next year.
No, we're coming back more talking about it. People have time to hear it, and we're going to talk about it more.
And the first single, though, that's coming sooner. Tell me about
Los
that.
Angeles Loser. It was written by James Michael, who has written, 5 or 6 songs on different records. Wrote on the last record, the best, only moment that I cherish on the last record, other than the stuff that Jimmy wrote, called Blind as a Bat. He wrote this, Los Angeles Loser, and it's a very unusual Meat Loaf track, but it rocks, and it's got this great little speech in it, and to quote Dick Clark, you can dance to it.
You can. It is a really rocking tune, because everyone was really getting onto it this morning. It's fantastic. Well, it's great to see you in such a good place.
Oh, I'm in a great place. Love you.
It's great to have a new album out, Meat Loaf. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, and thanks for talking to me.
Pleasure.